Well, hello, and thank you for listening and watching the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. I am your co host, Max Trujillo.
And I am your co host, Matthew Weiss. And today we fly south to
Mhm.
Greenville, South Carolina. And our special guest today is the executive director of Euphoria, which takes place in Greenville, South Carolina this September, Miss Morgan Allen. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a little while. We were talking about it, but we go way back, Morgan. We've been kind of moving around in the food and beverage circles for years now, and it's great to have you on the actual podcast. So, welcome.
Yeah, it's fun to kind of come full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, as far as the festival, Euphoria is going through a trajectory and longevity at the same time.
Yes, it is. It's our 19th year, which is really fascinating to be on the cusp of 20 years, especially for Greenville. I mean, no one knew Greenville 20 years ago. So to see how far we've come and how far the festival has really been able to draw in talent is really impressive.
Yeah, I remember Max when we told friends of ours up in New York City that we were moving down to North Carolina and a lot of to Raleigh, and a lot of people looked at us and be like, "What, Raleigh? Why?" And then, but we had two friends who looked at us and said, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea. We're actually looking at Greenville." I was like, "Greenville? What the heck is that?" And then Max and I had, had the pleasure of attending Euphoria twice, and Greenville, South Carolina, is an amazing city. It is the epitome of human ingenuity to human make a city in the best way possible. And that was all really created because BMW decided to put headquarters down there. Is that right? Can you give us a little history of how Greenville, South Carolina came to be?
Yeah, I think really the manufacturing is what led people here originally. Textiles is something that Greenville is known for. So I think naturally, when you have people moving in from really all over the world, it really starts to shape your culinary scene here. But to your point, I think some of it was probably handcrafted, and other things just kind of happened naturally from the people that were gravitating here.
Yeah, it's super cool too, and I love like the environment of that downtown area with the ballpark and all the food, and I believe you're utilizing the ballpark in the festival as well, and even probably more so than you have in the past. What's that like?
Well, it really is just, I mean, a beautiful setting, a kind of natural place to be right downtown Greenville. So, yeah, we use the ballpark for several of our larger events, Party in the Park being our Friday night event, and now Feast by the Field on Saturday and Sunday being the largest tasting showcase that we do. So, the ballpark really just happens to be this beautiful spot right in downtown Greenville that's very accessible.
Oh,
Matt, do you think you could hit it out of do you think you could hit it out of the park if someone pitched it right to you?
if
Yeah,
I could use an
exactly. I
aluminum
think
bat, maybe. As it used to be. Hey, Morgan, you said this is the 19th year. What started Euphoria to begin with?
Well, Carl Sobensinski, who's known through Table 301 Restaurant Group, he's the one that started Sobeys, really iconic restaurant in downtown Greenville that's been there for 25 years. Him and his really good friend Edward McCain, as you might know, singer and songwriter from I'll
yeah.
Be, his hit song, they really just wanted a way to give back to the community. They had a lot of people reaching out to them, asking, if they could support various nonprofits. So they joined forces and started a food, wine, and music festival, which was pretty unique, adding the music component on top of the food and wine as well. And again, it was just their idea to really give back. I think the festival started with 3 or 4 events. It was actually called Southern Exposure the first couple of years. And as you can imagine, probably not the best name in the world when you're Googling it. Thankfully, they changed that a couple years later to Euphoria, and it's been on that for the last 17 years now.
Yeah, but now, of course, you compete with the HBO show, so
I feel like that's a good thing though,
yeah.
right? Like people, whenever you say you work for Euphoria, they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so awesome!"
Yeah, what's
But they're
Zendaya
obviously
like?
referring to the yeah.
Okay, but as we are looking to 2024 Euphoria, in my mind, when we were in the 2018, 2019, it was very barbecue focused. I mean, in fact, we got to meet and talk with, I mean, we had Matt Register, we had Sam Jones, we had Anthony DiBernardo, we had the guys from Home Team. Like, there was so much great barbecue, both just in South Carolina in general. But I've seen the list, and it doesn't look like it's solely barbecue at this time. So what are we going to expect?
You're right. For the first couple of years, I think barbecue really had a big kind of boom there in 2018 and 19, and we did a lot of focus on that. And we really now are trying to be more, eclectic and have real global cuisine and not just focus on, South barbecue. Although a lot of those barbecue guys still come. Matt Register is still really involved. Home team, Lewis Barbecue. I mean, you definitely see in Greenville the barbecue scene the last couple of years with some of them moving in is still a big hype. So you'll definitely see that sprinkle through the festival weekend, but we don't necessarily have a focus of one event that focuses on barbecue. So really at all of our events, you're going to see a mix of things. We really try to tailor to vegans and vegetarians as well, thinking through dietary restrictions, and just really bring in, the best not only the South has, but really all over the country.
You have a slew and an array of great food, but you also, it's become, and I don't know how long since we've been going, also somewhat of an educational and experiential event. So you have a lot of people giving seminars and stuff like that. What are some of the new additions or highlights of the seminars and educational experiences this year?
So one of the things we're really known for is to be more of an intimate festival. We get that from so many people when we have really big cities all around us, Atlanta and Charleston, that obviously can produce world-class festivals. So we've really kind of honed into those educational components, the things that set us apart being those more intimate events. We have more classrooms than we've ever had before, and the largest classroom seats about 40 people. So it really gives you an opportunity to talk one-on-one with our guest speakers or mixologist chefs that we bring in for the various topics. And we also have lunch and learns, which have become really popular. So lunches all throughout Greenville and the upstate that always have a learning component as well. And then, of course, we have chef demos and various opportunities to connect with the chefs at our larger events. Really a little something for everyone. If the big events aren't your thing and are here, want to learn more about wine or beer, we really run the gamut on those educational opportunities.
Who are some of the headliners that you're really, or some of the people that you are personally most excited about this year?
Every year it obviously changes, and it's really amazing the talent that we can pull in. Having Emeril Lagasse come this year is absolutely amazing. I mean, certainly someone, you grow up watching, with your grandmother on cooking shows, and to have him and his son here, who's 21 years old, is, I mean, really like a kind of check the box moment for me. It's amazing that talent that we get to pull in. And even just having Michelin headquartered here, being able to bring in Michelin starred chefs. I mean, we had Ryan Ortino returning this year, who's, I think this is his 5th year, and he requests to come back every year. So I feel like that's very humbling to have people reach out to you and want to come back. Another one I'm really excited about is Christian Hunter. I don't know if y'all know Christian. He used to be in Charleston. He participated in the festival, I think in 2018 or 2019 with a Charleston restaurant. And now he's a Michelin starred chef in Chicago. So really amazing to kind of see how much he's grown and evolved over the last few years, and now coming back to the festival in a completely different capacity. It's just really amazing. And then, of course, we have our favorites that come back. I know I mentioned, Matt Register or Chris Coleman, Chef T, a lot of their regular chefs that we've kind of become family with that come back every year. It's always great to see them.
I'm looking that you've got Curtis Duffy coming out there, and he is the real deal coming out of Chicago. I'm really looking forward to seeing and chatting with a lot of these folks. As far as us, we're going to be down there and getting some of this great talent that you've assembled and doing these little one-on-ones, which has been great. And we are like able to expand the conversation a little bit for those that maybe can't make it or so, and just want to learn a little bit more. So we're excited to be a part of it. Set up a little mobile studio. And I mean, in years past, it's led to some really great creations that we've come up with because of Euphoria. So it's such an inspiring event in general. We look forward to doing it again this year.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you back. I think that's another great thing about Euphoria. I think the chefs really love coming. They love networking. They love seeing their fellow chefs or mixologists. So just a really great time.
Morgan,
Yeah, no
if
doubt.
if I just want to do some of the lunch and learns or do some of the demos, I can buy individual tickets or I can buy a pass that gets me all access. Is that correct?
You got it. So we have 67 events on the docket for the 4-day festival this year.
Wow.
So all of those tickets are a la carte. You can purchase each one individually. I believe we do have a few more VIP passes if you really want to indulge for the 4 days. We also have some discounted packages if you buy 2 or 3 events together and want to kind of just experience those larger events. Certainly an opportunity to just check out one or indulge for the whole weekend.
How do I get my tickets?
So euphoriagreenville.com. We have about 6 more weeks until the festival. So a lot of our events already sold out, but we certainly have a lot of events left to choose from.
Yeah, the exact starting date is September 18th to
Yep.
the 22nd. Cool. Real quick, selfishly, what wines should I expect to be drinking while I'm there?
Well, wines are something that every year we try to come up with something very unique and different. We're really working with a lot of our kind of craft wineries and different smaller distributors in town. So I think you're going to be really surprised. You're not going to see a lot of the big names.
Okay,
Of course, you might see a few of those, but again, that's kind of the point of Euphoria. Come and learn and experience and taste things that you might not have tasted before.
cool.
We look forward to it. We are super excited. Thank you for putting this together. I can't believe that you've been doing it for as long as you've been doing it, and it just keeps growing. And just like that town. So we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Morgan. For all of you out there, get your tickets to Euphoria Greenville. You will eat and drink and listen extremely merrily.